Making Christmas. Making Christmas. Making Christmas.
Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make your very own and affordable Nightmare Before Christmas stocking. My setup right here, I have a 14 by 15 piece square of the Nightmare Before Christmas pattern that I'm going to use. You can use any other pattern you want. You can find them online or at Joann's at the store or online. Sometimes the site is garbage. This Tinkerbell stocking as my guide or reference to the size and inches of what I want. You can use a cutout reference or something like this as well, and we're going to use these push pins and we're going to line it all along the sides, and I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm going to get to pinning. First and foremost, sorry about the disaster zone of a table. It's a work in progress. Anyway, taking one of your fantastic push pins, grab the two pieces of fabric and the stocking with your thumb, and we're going to put the push pin through all of it, and you can feel when it happens. We're going to go through it, kind of like a brooch sort of thing happening, and pin it through the other side. And you should have something that looks like that right here. You're going to do that for the whole project. This is what it should look like when it's done. Pinned. Also, you have to make sure that it's even. And you can do that by like just going around and smoothing everything out. But this is what you should have from here to here, all along down the sides and the bottom. Now we're going to cut out the fabric portion. This is the most important part because if you mess up, then you mess up and there's no going back really. So I'm going to show you what to do so you don't mess up. You see here, when you look at the stocking, there's an inseam in here. Well, we're doing the same thing for this one as well. So we want to have a space for an inseam. When we turn it inside out, we want to have an inseam and be able to sew without making it too small or too short. Basically right here at the bottom, it's a perfect size. Not too much to do, but we have to fix this part over here, these outward parts. So we want about what, an inch, 2 inches, something like this. I'm not great at measuring, but something like this. You want space. I'm going to get started on that inseam part that I was talking about, flipping the whole project upside down, making sure that's smooth enough, everything's fine, nothing's bothered. Basically, what is this, an inch, 2 inch, enough so that we have space to have our inseam. We're gonna cut, taking our handy dandy scissors here. We have the initial cut, and we're going to go in the shape of this. We're just going to follow around. We're basically eyeballing it. You have to be focused or you can really mess up. So make sure that you have enough concentration to do it. Focusing on you see that you have enough for your inseam. Rotating it again so that way we still have an eye on what we're doing. And we can use this extra fabric for other projects as well. And we'll get into that at a later time possibly. But for now we're focusing on our stocking at the moment. And right here, this portion is a perfect measurement, so we're leaving that alone. We're not touching that. Rotating the project again. Move your pieces to the side and just gradually trimming like so. Getting any little frays here, put those off to the side. Rotating it a little bit more. Our stocking, and we have a little extra for sewing purposes. So you're now going to unpin this whole template from the actual fabric here. The template has been removed. We have our actual stocking now that we're going to get onto. We're going to take this top piece and put it at the bottom, separating them and then matching them back together, inside out, I believe. That's what it's called. Then we're going to smooth it out, making sure that's all even. And then pinning it once it's aligned to how you want it. Making sure that it's aligned properly and pinning it together. And we're using this part for sewing, so we're going to pin it a little bit more inward so we have enough room for our seam that will be technically around in this region. And we're doing the same for the whole stocking. Once you're done pinning, this is what your product should look like. Not anything out of place, any kind of like patterns, you know, unless you're doing patterns. Right here, it's simple and easy. You can see it for yourself here. We're taking some thread, just basic white sewing thread. I put it through this needle right here and tied it at the end, like so. Just a little knot. And we're hand sewing this because I'm not doing any sewing machines. If you have a sewing machine, that's great, but I'm doing this by hand. We're taking our fabric now, our stocking, and we're doing a 1/2 inch away from the end. So a little bit inward. We're going to go in like so, making sure that's through, and pulling all of the thread all the way through. Going back in, doing the same motion, and then back through. So that way we have a secure starting point. Back through again, through the back. voila. Now, all the way down, we can do that normally, just like so. Making sure we follow our guide. This is basically our guide and basically our intuition and eyes for like around here. Going along, following our guide that we created, and going back through. We're doing that for the whole thing all the way over to here, and we're doing that same stitching pattern that we did right here, the same thing for over here at the end. The sewing portion is complete, as you can see. Now we're just going to turn it with the design pattern out. I finally put the pattern out, and I made sure all the stitching was intact and the way it should be. Everything's great. Now we're going to start with the felt portion, the trim for this stocking right here. Basically going into the same pattern as this one. We're going to use some felt, and I'll show you what we're going to do to make the trim. I moved the stocking over to the side because we don't really need it that much right now. We're focusing on the felt. This is some felt that I got at Walmart, and you can get a really great price at Walmart. I believe it's 3 yards for like $4, $3.50, $4, something like that. Great price for all kinds of projects you can do. I'm going to just unfold this fabric right here, felt. You get a lot of felt when you purchase it, trust me. I've already made like a whole bunch of these stockings in the past. But enough said, we're moving on. So we're taking our template right here, basically, our guide to show us what to do. And it looks like it's just folded in. Not too much to do. Let's say we cut a strip about 25 inches long by about 5 inches wide. I trimmed the piece that we need for our trim, and good thing I did measure out a little bit extra because I kind of messed up with the cut, so I went back in and evened out everything. So 5 inches is good. In case you make a mistake, you can have enough wiggle room to go back in and even it out straight. So it's a little bit shorter than 5 inches, but it's okay, we'll live. It's basically time to put this together with our stocking. By far, this is the most difficult part of the whole stocking, and it took a while to figure out, but here it goes. Like I mentioned before previously, you can see how, you know, when you tuck it in, this part's showing, the good part. Well, what I did was the same thing. Had to find the good part of the felt. You take your fabric stocking right here and you line up the good soft part of the felt onto this, and when you tuck it, as you can see I have it pinned, as you flip it over, the good side will be showing once it's tucked. That's what I realized from this one. So I'm going to be pinning this whole felt around just like so, taking and lining them up together and pinning them until we get to the end. And that's what you should have all along, all the way back to the beginning point. Should have something that looks like this. I know it looks odd, but trust me, that's what it should look like. And we're going to take this part in here like so, because we need that seam like over here. We're going to lift it up a little bit and bring it over like so. We're going to approximize the length that we need to cut to get rid of this excess, so just going based like so, maybe 3 or 4, I think this is like 2 inches or so, and I'm bad at measuring, but we're going to trim off the extra and leave a little wiggle room for when we do this now. We're taking it all out of the stocking like so, just lining this up, and we're going to pin this as well. See, we need a little flap for extra support. We're going to take this and we're going to trim about here. Trimming it like so. Putting it off to the side and pinning. Making sure we have a nice future seam. Like so. When we fold it over, taking this and we're going to pin it together. Leaving enough space for the stitch. And then we're going to sew it together. We're going to take our thread, just like we did previously, secure a stitch, like so in here. If you need to, you can undo these. We're going to undo this for now. We're going to stitch this like so, all around, going in, pulling the thread through, and then going back in, pushing that back in, like so, going through right here again, our starting point, securing that stitch, pulling it through, and back into the same stitch. Then we're going around but doing a single stitch all the way around until we get back to our starting point. Then we do the same stitch as we did over here. After stitching the felt to the stocking, I relined this up again and I started sewing a stitch right in here, making sure that was secure, and I'm going to do that all the way to the end and securing this stitch as well and cutting off the excess. Overall, the stocking is complete. I put everything where it should be, put it all in place, and this is what you're supposed to have now. We are going to do the final part of this, and that involves putting a hanging portion on. Just like this one. I made one previously. I just cut a strip from our extra that we had here. Just cut off and evened out a little portion. Hand sewed the entire thing closed, and then I pinned it so that way it would actually stay in place until the time was needed to sew it on. I'm going to take my loop here and just place it on the back of the stocking like so, making sure that's securely enough onto the back. And then I'm going to sew it. We're going through the whole way, bringing it through, bringing it back through the opposite way through the front, bringing it in, holding it like so, making sure that's all the way through. And I came back around to where I started from, and I'm going to pull this out all the way through, going back the same way all the way through. You're doing the same technique until you get all the way to the end, and we're going through twice this time, really securing this loophole. Finally, it is complete. Thank God. Okay. We have a finished product. I'm going to hang it up on my kitchen wall today. If you have made your own, let me know in the comment section what designs that you've done for yourself. If you made one yourself, and send it to me on social media. I would like to check it out. All my social medias are always linked down below, so check me out on all those. If you enjoy the video, please give it a huge thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe, why not? It's free. And don't forget to press the notification bell, ding dong, and you'll be notified when I post new videos. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to all of you next time. Bye everyone.